welcome back, everybody. So, I thought I'd be doing something a little bit different than what I usually post. And that would be incorporating a little bit more of my Norse paganism aspect into this by reading a very popular bit of writing and poetry called the Havamal, which is from the Poetic Edda. I have one right here with me. So I thought today I'd be reading this in kind of the style of a skald, which is like a poet or storyteller, and just kind of as if we're in a longhouse. There's a bountiful feast in the background, everyone's drinking, having a good time, and maybe over in the corner you got the skald kind of telling stories of the gods, and particularly right now we have the Havamal, which is the words of Odin himself. So let's get into it, boys. Here we go. Listen closely as I tell the story and the words of the council of Odin the One-Eyed. At every doorway, before you enter, you should look around. You should take a good look around, for you never know where your enemies might be seated within. Hail to a good host. A guest has come inside. Where should he sit? He is impatient, standing at the threshold, ready to try his luck. He needs a fire, the one who has just come in. His knees are shivering. Food and dry clothes will do him well after his journey over the mountains. He needs water, the one who has just arrived. Dry clothes and a warm welcome from a friendly host. And if he can get it, a chance to listen and be listened to. A man needs wisdom if he plans to wander widely. Life is easier at home, to be laughed at if he sits among the wise and has nothing to say. A wise man is not showy about his wisdom. He guards it carefully. He is silent when it comes to a stranger's home. The wise man seldom wanders into harm, for you can never have a more faithful friend than a good supply of wisdom. The watchful guest, when he arrives for a meal, should keep his mouth shut, listening with his ears and watching with his eyes. That is how he gets wiser. A man is happy if he finds good advice within himself. Many men have received bad advice by trusting someone else. A traveler cannot bring a better burden on the road than plenty of wisdom. It will prove better than money in an unfamiliar place. Wisdom is the comfort of the poor. A traveler cannot bring a better burden on the road than plenty of wisdom, and he can bring no worse a burden than too much alcohol. There is not as much good as men claim there is in alcohol for one's well-being. A man knows less as he drinks more, and loses more and more of his wisdom. It is as if a memory-stealing bird flies overhead while you drink, and steals your mind away. I myself have been trapped in that bird's feathers when I drank at Gunla's home. I was drunk. I was too drunk at Fjalla's house. The best kind of feast is the one you go home from with all your wits about you. A noble man should be silent, thoughtful, and bold in battle, but every man should also be cheerful and happy to the inevitable day of his death. An unwise man thinks he'll live forever, if only he can avoid the fight. But old age will give him no peace, even if weapons do. A foolish man misuses his mouth, as he talks too much or says nothing. As soon as he gets a drink, he'll say anything he knows. Don't hold on to the mead horn, but drink your fair share. Say something useful or stay quiet, and no one else will judge you poorly if you go to sleep early. A gluttonous man, unless he watches himself, will eat to his own detriment. Wise men will often ridicule a fool on account of his belly. Even cows know when they should go home and leave behind the fields. A stupid man, and an undisciplined one, laughs at everything. He hasn't learned a lesson that would do him good. He himself isn't flawless. A fool stays awake all night, worrying about everything. An unwise man thinks everyone who laughs with him is his friend. He doesn't understand that the wise are mocking him, even when he overhears them. An unwise man thinks anyone who laughs with him is his friend, but he won't find these friends when he goes to court, nor will no one speak on his behalf. A stupid man thinks he knows everything, if he gets himself in a tough corner. But he does not even know what he'll answer, if men ask him questions. It's best for a fool to keep his mouth shut, among other people. No one will know he knows nothing, if he says nothing. Ill-informed people are also the ones who don't know when to stop talking. You will seem wise if you know the answer, and know how to explain it. People are not able to keep a secret of what they hear about other people. You will hurt yourself with your talking if you never close your mouth. A hasty tongue, unless it's disciplined, often earns its own punishment. No one should ridicule anyone else, even if he owes him money. Many a man seems wise if he is never questioned, but he may prove otherwise. A man may seem wise if he pokes fun at another, when the other man is away. But a man who talks behind another man's back is a fool, even if his listeners laugh. Many men are kind, but can be driven to fight. There will always be conflict between men. When there's more than one, there's a fight. You should eat your meals early, unless you are visiting a friend. A hungry man sits and gets sluggish, and his wits are impaired. It's a long and crooked walk to a bad friend, even if he lives nearby. But it's an easy road to a good friend, no matter how long the journey. You should keep moving. You should never be a guest forever in one place. Your welcome will wear out if you stay too long beneath another's roof. It's better to have a home, even if it's little. Everyone should call somewhere home, even if you own just 2 goats beneath a faulty roof. That's still better than begging. Better to have a home, even if it's little. Should everyone call somewhere home? Your heart will be wounded if you have to beg for every meal from somebody else. Never go even a single step without a weapon at your side. You never know when you might find yourself in need of a spear. I have never met a man so generous, nor so hospitable, that he would not be welcome to repayment. Nor have I met a man so giving that he turned down a thing offered in return. Do not be so sparing in use of your money that you don't use it for your own needs. Often what you save for your children will end up in the hands of your enemies. Many things will go worse than you expect. Friends should provide their friends with weapons and clothing. This kind of generosity shows. Generous mutual giving is the key to a lifelong friendship. Be a friend to your friend, and repay each gift with a gift. Repay laughter with laughter. Repay treachery with treachery. Be a friend to your friend, and also to his friend, but never be a friend to the enemy of your friend. If you have a good friend, and really trust him, and want good to come of your friendship, you should speak your mind with him, exchange gifts, visit him often. But if you have another friend, and you mistrust him, but you want benefit from him nonetheless, you should speak to him kindly, flatter him, and repay his treachery with your own. This same friend, if you mistrust him, and suspect him to be false in his words, you should talk to him, laugh with him, but repay just what he gives you. I was young once. I walked alone, and I became lost in my way. I felt like I was rich when I met another traveler. People's joy is in other people. Kind and brave people live best. They never nurture a grudge. It's unwise to spend your life worrying, dreading your responsibilities. I gave my clothes to 2 scarecrows once when I walked in the field. They thought they were human as soon as they had the clothes on. A naked man feels ashamed. A fir tree decays, standing over a farm, no longer protected by the bark and needles. A person is the same way if nobody loves him. How will he live much longer? The friendship among false friends burns warmly for 5 days, but then it's extinguished by the 6th day, and the friendship is over. You should not give only big gifts. Often a little thing will win you favor. I have won friends with just half a loaf of bread and a bowl of soup.